All right, let's get right into it. I want you to imagine a world with no hotels, no police, not even a map app to get you home. A world where, if you're stranded, your life is literally in the hands of the next person you meet. That's the world of Homer's Odyssey, and holding it all together is this powerful, unwritten rule called Xenia.
Yeah, this is so much more than just being polite. See, that stranger at your door, they could be a desperate traveler, a king in disguise, or, maybe even a god who's just testing you. So how you act isn't just a matter of good manners, it's a high-stakes test, and getting it wrong could have fatal consequences.
So what exactly is Xenia? Well, it's often translated as guest friendship, but honestly, that doesn't even begin to cover it. Think of it more like a sacred contract, a really serious binding duty between a host and their guest. And the person enforcing this contract? Oh, just Zeus himself, in his role as Zeus Xenios, Zeus of strangers. So if you break this rule, you're not just being rude, you're directly challenging the king of the gods. Okay, so let's dig into what this unbreakable code really involves. It's basically the bedrock of their entire society, and if you don't get this, you're gonna miss what the Odyssey is all about. You see, this is what's really at stake. Xenia is the line in the sand. It's how the Greeks saw themselves as civilized and how they judged others as barbarians. It's this whole system of mutual respect that literally holds their world together. And as you can see, breaking the rules isn't just a social faux pas, it brings down divine punishment. Xenia is, without a doubt, the glue of the Homeric world.
So, we know the rules, but what does it look like when someone gets it perfectly right? Let's take a look at a couple of the A-list hosts in the story.
And here we've got two fantastic examples. First up, Nestor. Telemachus shows up, and before Nestor even asks his name, he's offering food, a place to sleep, gifts, even a chariot to help him on his way. That's pure piety, the absolute ideal. Then you have the Phaeacians, who take it to a whole other level for Odysseus. They give him clothes, food, the best seat in the house, and the ultimate prize, a ship to get him home. They show perfect hospitality without trying to trap their guest. They're the gold standard.
Okay, so we've seen the ideal. Now, let's flip the coin and look at the most notorious example of bad guests in all of literature, the suitors back in Ithaca.
And this contrast is just so stark. On one side, you have Telemachus doing his absolute best to be a good host to the disguised Athena, offering her everything he can. But on the other, his own words about the suitors say it all. They are eating me out of house and home. They're not guests, they're parasites, draining the life out of the household.
And scholars are all over this. The classicist Urban puts it perfectly. The suitors' behavior is the single biggest crime against Xenia in the whole epic. Their total disrespect for this sacred duty is what sets the entire plot on a collision course with that bloody ending.
And if you need one single image to capture their wickedness, this is it. The head suitor, Antinous, picks up a footstool, something meant for a guest's comfort, and hurls it at Odysseus, who's disguised as a beggar. He literally turns an object of hospitality into a weapon. It's the ultimate perversion of everything Xenia stands for.
And that act has massive consequences. As the scholar Steve Reese argues, that one moment, that perversion, inextricably links their bad behavior to their own slaughter. They basically sign their own death warrants right then and there by trashing the code so violently.
But it's not just bad guests you have to worry about. Let's look at the other side of the coin, the absolute worst-case scenario for a host, Polyphemus, the Cyclops.
This one line tells you everything. Odysseus begs for help in the name of Zeus Xenios, the protector of guests. And what does Polyphemus do? He basically says, Zeus, who cares? He declares himself completely outside the laws of gods and men. He's outside of civilization itself.
And he doesn't just ignore Xenia, he creates this monstrous, twisted version of it. A host should welcome guests, he traps them. A host should feed his guests, he feeds on them, literally eating Odysseus's men. He is the ultimate anti-host, the very definition of the barbarism that Xenia is designed to keep at bay.
So you've got parasitic guests and a monstrous host. What happens when these sacred rules get broken so badly? Well, you get a visit from divine justice.
And the symbolism here is just wow, it's incredible. The weapon Odysseus uses to take back his home is a special bow he got years ago as a gift of Xenia, a symbol of guest friendship. So the very embodiment of proper Xenia becomes the tool he uses to punish those who smashed its laws to pieces. It's poetic justice.
Right, so the slaughter of the suitors isn't just about
personal revenge. It's framed as the final reckoning, its divine retribution. Odysseus basically becomes the hand of Zeus, and he forces that law brutally. By killing them, he's not just cleaning house, he's putting the entire moral and social order of Ithaca back together again.
So let's zoom out. Why is this theme so important? Why does it pop up again and again? Because, it's about so much more than just being a good host.
Here's the key takeaway. The state of hospitality in Odysseus's palace is a direct mirror of the state of his kingdom. When the suitors are abusing Xenia, Ithaca is in chaos. When Odysseus returns and restores proper Xenia by, killing all of them, he is also restoring his own kingship and the proper order of his society. The two things are completely intertwined.
And I think the scholar Richard Jenkins just nails it here. This isn't just a test for kings and nobles. He calls it the touchstone, the ultimate moral test. How you treat a stranger, a beggar, that's how your true character is judged, no matter who you are. The poor swineherd Eumaeus shows far better Xenia than any of those rich, arrogant suitors.
Which brings us to a final really thorny question. The poem seems to set up a simple rule. Be a good host, you get rewarded. Be a bad one, you get punished. But is it really that simple? I mean, what about the Phaeacians? They gave Odysseus perfect hospitality, the absolute best. And for their trouble, Poseidon gets angry and turns their ship to stone. So what does that tell us? It suggests that sometimes the rules aren't so clear, and the will of the gods can be a very complicated and dangerous thing. And that's definitely something worth thinking about.